speaks here on behalf of the Barack Obama. I'm sorry, campaign. Here we go. Thank you.
Hey. That made me think of like the Beach Boys or something, Bahamas or whatever. Everybody's always mangling his name, so it's okay. Before I start, I want to mention that one of our delegates is here in the room today. Christine Mitchell is running for delegate for Obama. And we have at least another person, last name. Forgot her first name. I'm Lisa Stark. Sorry about that. So we have a couple of people here that have been involved. My name's Chris Young. I'm the liaison to the gay and lesbian and bisexual and transgender community here in Western Pennsylvania for the Obama campaign. And you might remember me also from before as the head of the League of Gay and Lesbian Voters. So I spent, I'd say, roughly 20 years working on advocacy for lesbian and gay related issues here in the state of Pennsylvania. And so I have a pretty good sense of what that is, of these issues. And so if you don't mind, I'm going to pretty much stick to gay and lesbian types of issues. If you have other issues, we can talk about those afterwards. But I think that there's enough to speak about on lesbian and gay issues. And in fact, that's one of the reasons why I decided to get back into politics after a 4-year hiatus from it. So I guess one of the things to start with is why Barack Obama. You know, if you look at the records, they're pretty similar. Everybody's saying, oh, well, they're very similar, they're very similar, they're very similar. And to some extent, that's true. I think what I'd like to do is first point out two of the differences that I noticed that really, to me, were significant in terms of gay and lesbian support from the candidates. The first one has to do with the Defense of Marriage Act. I don't know if you guys know what this is. You probably do. We have one at the state level. Well, there's one at the federal level. Both candidates support repealing it, but Barack Obama supports repealing the entire so-called Defense of Marriage Act, whereas Hillary Clinton, I don't know why, only supports repealing part. The part she does not support repealing is a part that would allow states to not recognize marriages from other states. So, if you get married in, say, Massachusetts, then you come to Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania doesn't have to recognize that marriage. Barack would repeal the entire Defense of Marriage Act so that it would require Pennsylvania to also recognize that marriage. I think that's significant, my own self. The other difference has to do with approach, and I think in a lot of ways this is one of the most significant things about Barack, is his approach to issues and to society, to our society as general. He wants to see us as a united country, not divided into this group and that group and that group. He doesn't just go to gay and lesbian events and say, hey, I support you, but I'm not going to say it out there. Matter of fact, he was just at a rally in Harrisburg. I heard there were about 10,000 people at the state capitol, and he's talking about how we need to include everybody in this American dream of ours, this dream that's getting lost as we lose jobs, as we divide against each other, as we separate based on religion, on sexual orientation, on race, as we practice politics of division, divide and conquer, for the personal gain of politicians rather than the greater benefit of our society. He's out there saying, I support, sorry, the P's do that, I support equality for gay and lesbian people out there on the mall, in the state capitol in front of 10,000 people, on national media, in front of thousands of people in his victory party in Virginia. Again, being televised to millions of people across the country. He's not afraid to say, I support gay and lesbian people in front of hostile audiences. To me, this is a true measure of commitment, more than being in a parade. Parades are nice. He's been in them too, in Illinois when he's run for U.S. Senate. But to be there in front of a hostile crowd or a neutral crowd, he went in front of the congregation at Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia, and said, we need to do something about homophobia in our church. He went, believe it or not, and I came across it by accident. Nobody on the campaign told me this. I was going through YouTube. I don't know how many of you waste lots of time looking at YouTube stuff. And I came across a clip of him being interviewed on the Christian Broadcast Network. And he's there going, I know you're going to have a problem with this, but I think we need to include gay and lesbian people in our community as equals. We need to support them, support civil unions. We cannot go about discriminating on the basis of sexual orientation and employment. On Pat Robertson's television station. Come on. It's crazy. But he did it. His message is the same no matter where he goes. I spent 20 years having politicians come to our events or come to me and say, personally, I support you guys. I'll work with you guys. But I just can't go out there and tell everybody else. I can't go down in public, I'll lose. I think this is a big step. I don't think I've come across a candidate who's done this before. Certainly not in front of thousands of people live and millions of people over the air. Somebody who is willing to talk to all sides, which is the other part of the equation. We could all be here saying, we support gay rights, we need this, we need this. And say, these Christian activists are all devils. I'm not going to talk to them. They might live next door, but I'm not going to talk to them. They're not devils. We're not devils. We're people with our own follies, with our own good merits. And you're not going to get anywhere if you don't talk. So he sometimes gets in trouble for saying, having talked with one place or another, like CBN. Yeah, he goes on CBN and tells them exactly where he stands. His positions never change where he goes. But if you don't start this dialogue, if we don't start talking together as Americans, we are going to fall apart. This is where we've been heading for the past decade, is a more and more disintegrating society where we create our own little subcultures or sub-communities, and we don't talk to each other. We work at cross purposes, and all we do is fight and divide. We won't solve our problems that way. We need a leader who sees the benefit of unity, who says we can go out there, we can treat each other with respect, we can work to make a better, united America, regardless of race, regardless of sexual orientation, regardless of religion, who respects everybody. We need a leader like that. I gave up politics in part because I was stressed out, in part because I was losing hope. Now I have hope. When he talks about the message of hope, he talks about working hard for a goal that will make us all better, that will make our society, our country, a better, stronger, more united country. And if we have that, then the economy and everything else can start moving forward, because we will move forward as a single society. If we stay divided, we will continue to disintegrate. So yes, he's given me hope. That's why I'm back here. That's what he means by the message of hope, not some Pollyanna, oh, hope, 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 right? He means that if we do this, if we put in the hard work and try and work with each other, look over all these biases, that we can do it. That's what hope is about, and that's why I say, yes, we can. Thank you.
Kick it live with the CLB. Hey yo, that be the DJ rolling with me.